strapping. Feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low, I'm blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 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 it's different.
Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gatso, and welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 6 of Season 9 of the longest continuously running DW12 series on iRacing today. It is a Dark Horse Racing series presented by 4D Racewear and their DW12s, coming from Texas Motor Speedway for the fourth running of the Dark Horse Texas 225, but the very first time in series history on this configuration of Texas. The first time we've been back at Texas since October of 2021. Fortunately, Andrew Wood not with me here this week. He will be back for our next race. But joining me in the booth again is Kyle Clinworth and Luca Tedesco. Fellas, good to have you here. We have ourselves on top of running a racetrack that I'm not very familiar with at all, at least in this configuration in this car, but we have ourselves a heck of a points battle. 4 drivers, all within less than 20 points, all battling for the front, and a tie for second. Anything can still happen, and there's still plenty of time to race.
Thanks for having us, Gary. It's a lot of big shoes to fill. That's why there's 2 of us here to help you call the action tonight. I'm very excited to see what these drivers can do on this cool track. It'll be treacherous down in turn 1, lots of pushing and shoving. Hopefully they keep it clean here. What are your thoughts in pre-race, Luca, before you get into the lineup?
This is a plow box setup. We heard about that earlier. Thank you very much for introducing me, Glendy. But this setup has been known to be very, very tight in practice. A lot of guys really plowing into turn number 1. You got to do quite a bit of lifting in order to get around this place. But I think it's going to be an absolute... It's going to put the driver's skills really on display here. Who can fight off that push the most?
All right, we are getting ready to grid up to go racing tonight. This is a mile-and-a-half quad oval. We're doing, let's see, what are we doing tonight? We are doing, I forgot, we're doing 150 laps, 225 miles here at the new version of Texas. 80% fuel. I don't think we have tire limits. We'll have Clindy double check that for me, but 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit. We're looking at anywhere between more than likely a 3 or 4 stop, maybe a 4 stop with the 80% on fuel. We'll see how that pans out. Getting ready to get into this race as we are gridding up now, and let's get in tonight's starting lineup from Texas.
From No Limits, Texas, on the pole, it's Mark Murphy. In second place, it's Guillermo Miguel. Third place, it'll be Matt Wagner. Fourth is Caleb Brashear. Fifth, Lilac Zier. And sixth, Chris Stouffer. Seventh place, it'll be Jeff Highsong. In the eighth spot, it'll be Preston Forts. In ninth, Casey Pavlones, Big Cheese. And in 10th, it's Kenneth Smith. 11th, coming to us from Canada, it'll be Craig Forsyth. Clay Kirchenbauer is in 12th. 13th is Eric Peterson. 14th is Indy Kirchenbauer. 15th, John Stellard. 16th, Yari Brubaker. 17th, Hugo Galaz. 18th, Gary Lovern. That was the last driver to take a time as the pace truck rolls off the pit road. Shane Coker will start 19th. Joseph Morales 20th. Matthias Marcamini, is in 22nd. And Lewis Hayes is in 21st. It's just flipped on my results page. But that is your starting lineup for this evening's race.
Excellent job. Excellent job, actually. And I left the points up, but there you go. We'll do this again. I did a bad job. You did an excellent job. Here's the grid one more time. Again, my mind has been on IndyCar race today, and not this one. I'm pretty sure I know who won the IndyCar race. I haven't seen it yet, so.
Your guess would be correct.
And there you go. You see the starting lineup. There we go. Get that off and get ready to go racing here. Coming off a 3 and 4. Remember, first time ever these cars in this series have raced at this configuration. So what type of wrench into the mechanism is that going to throw things? Mark Murphy and the winner, first-time winner in our last race. Guillermo Miguel on the front row. Green flag is out for the Texas 225.
Whoa, a little bit of trouble in the mid-pack.
Oh,
Lilac
Lilac
Zier was on the apron. They split her 4 wide going down the back straightaway. Way to keep it straight, boys and girls.
Oh,
Absolute chaos back there. As we complete lap number 1, Mark Murphy is going to lead it. The opening 1.5 miles goes his direction. Still lots of jockeying for position in the midfield on back, but it's starting to string out at the front of the field.
yeah, I'm really thinking that clean air is going to help Murph, but we're in an interesting situation now. Last time we were at a track very similar in this configuration. It was an incident between Miguel and Murph right in the quad oval area that ended both of their days early. So I don't know if that's going through Murph's mind already or if it hasn't done so already, but I certainly remember it. And, you know, if I'm not, and I have the worst memory, so I would imagine they're out there remembering this too. I mean, some drivers never forget.
Yeah, race car drivers do have long memories, Gary, and I think that's just a product of having 2 aggressive drivers up front. Murphy usually doesn't turn the aggression up till late in the race, but Guillermo is very aggressive at all points in time. He just wants to get to the lead and have control of the tempo of the race.
Very curious. Indy Kirchenbauer went to the top down the backstretch. He looks to just want to fall back in line, maybe try and wait it out, which is very unusual for him. Maybe he has a problem, but he looks to be going to the back and in a bit of a hurry.
Again, these guys, they've had some practice time, and they've known this schedule for a while. They've had plenty of time to do some individual practice, but live fire practice, Kirchenbauer and Forsyth. A little bit of a double flinch there for Forsyth on the high side. Again, not much, I'm willing to bet not much practice that these drivers have on this configuration of this track. Normally when we come here, we're using the legacy scan. This is the 4th running of this race. First time since 2021, prior to the 2021 race, they were all on the legacy scan. So that's where a lot of these drivers have a lot of experience in these cars. And again, there aren't very many DW12 leagues out there that are running at New Texas. In fact, this is the only one. So again, a lot of tiptoeing going on out there. Your top 3 right now, 2 of the spots of the Bass brothers. We got Murph and Caleb in 1st and 3rd, and Guillermo Miguel, winner at our last race. First time he got his first career Dark Horse win at Gateway a race ago. He is the meat in the sandwich. Oh, contact with Gailey Miguel, and he catches it. No, he's going to lose it.
No, he can't.
No, and he has lost his left rear. There is a fast repair. It is snapped back into place. We're under caution, and he'll be able to bring that to pit road and limp it and get the fast repair. But that brings us to our first caution, and he does a tow.
Goodness, that's not what you want to see to start this one, guys.
I cannot believe that snapped the right rear off of Garame's car. He was looking to save that car until he made contact pulling down to the low lane there with Matt Wagner. Wagner just had nowhere to go, couldn't check up in time, and that's really what finished off Garame. Otherwise, I think he would have saved that race car.
See right there, Caleb Brashear makes the contact. Then there was contact, you're right, with Wags to the inside. And then we see Miguel start scooting up the racetrack. Let's go back another 10 seconds and watch it unfold again from another angle. And again, you just kind of see big run for Brashear going into the corner. A little bit of a power slide, has the lift. Again, closing rates in these cars still very extreme, even though this is an older chassis. And you can already see the left rear is snapped at this point.
I think what happened there, gentlemen, is that he kind of popped up maybe 6 inches to it could have been even almost a foot on that rear end, and just the coming right back down hard on that left rear just snapped the suspension. That is a very weird failure. Haven't really seen that, but that will put him way back in this field.
Clindy, we're at 80% tanks here. We got a whole bunch of drivers splitting strategies, so let's talk about this move. Coming to pit road, you like the pit strategies. What do you think about this group here?
I think these drivers have the winning strategy in the bag right now. I think they now have the capacity to split this race into much closer to 50-lap stints. It was very, very hard to make 50 laps on the reduced fuel capacity, but you take 3 laps away from each run, now you only got to go 47 or 46 on each of these stints. I think these drivers, one, will be able to overcut everyone who stayed out, such that if there's a yellow during the pit cycle, they will naturally inherit the lead, and if this race happens to go green, they have the capacity to save and finish the race on 1 fewer stop than all of the competitors who have stayed on the track.
Lights out, not yet on the pace truck, as Mark is playing games with the iRacing pace truck. He is currently inside of it.
Rattle his cage.
There we see Caleb Brashear getting a good view of it. Maybe some screenshots that he's capturing there in the i5G DW12. That's a DW12 we have not seen in a long time. The i5G livery get pulled out. But we now have 2 different strategies out there. But it shouldn't be any surprise, Clindy, as we look at those that are high in the points right now. The top 3 in the points all have wins this season, highlighted by 2 wins by Wags back-to-back. And a 1 win for Murph, 1 win for Kirkenbauer. No wins for Peterson, but Peterson, just by consistency, is 4th, 17 back. And he is in 14th position, and he's on that now with what you're calling the, I guess, the favorable strategy.
Yeah, he and Kirchenbauer both are on what I would call the preferred strategy. However, they do not have track position, but it looks like Tristan Fortson came out 10th. Really didn't give up that much to pit, I think 2 or 3 cars of track position, but that should come back to them and then some once this cycle starts to play out.
All right, lights out on the pace truck. We will go green this time by, keep in mind again, that incident in turn 1. Will we see more of that? We heard that there's a degree of lifting going on in turn 1 to get this car to rotate. And also some downshifting in the gears that they're not used to in this car. Getting as low as 4th gear in turns 1. So was that maybe a product of that? Do we see more of it? We will see as we're getting ready to go green coming to lap 12. We're at lap 11 now. Green flag getting ready to be shown. Turning the field over to Murph, Caleb Brashear, Matt Wagner, Chris Stouffer, and Casey Povolonis. We're back racing.
Much
Great
more
jump.
orderly.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Great jump. This is the problem of a 3-man booth. Is
But
that
yeah, you
everyone's
guys were
trying-
all on the same. You guys were all on the same wavelength there. You all wanted to talk about an orderly start, and that was a very orderly start. Not like we saw at Long Beach today.
Oh no, that was. I'm stunned they didn't wave that off. I'm absolutely stunned that they didn't decide to throw the yellow, re-rack, and go again.
And we had a better looking start in the IIS on Saturday for our afternoon top split race. I'll give those guys all the credit in the world. They were all lined up, ready to go. IndyCar today looked like the top 6 were lined up, and after that, it was everybody single file coming off the hairpin. Lovern and Forsyth, go ahead.
Oh, Will Power just took that into his own hands and said, I'm going to decide how this race starts from my position further back.
Preston Fortune with those
IndyCar
new
has
tires down low.
Wide battle. Wow.
Muscles up right under Gary Lovern. Look at him go.
Yeah,
That
really.
track
Oh, and
machine's
Fortune
flying.
blinks out. And he's falling
Super
through the
early
order.
rush.
No, he's back.
He's back. Okay. I had to change my camera angles. Can you confirm that if there's no tire limits? I don't think there is.
There's not a tire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
I
nothing.
can confirm.
Smoke them if you got them, basically.
And they always got him. Marlboro pulled up, backed the truck up, said, here's a couple crates. Have fun.
But this is already definitely some argy-bargy going on, but everybody seems to have finally kind of figured out that, hey, this is a long race, 150 laps here in this car. We're just going to hop in line and just ride around for a little while. Oh,
And
Gary
Gary
got
Lovern just
contact!
about turned Tristan Fortson.
Oh,
Commentators
wow.
go
And they
straight
caught it.
again.
And that has bound up that whole group. And if there's not going to be a wreck out of here, these guys got a lot of good racecraft as we see Clay Kirkenbauer way up top. Whoa, trying to give room to Forsyth. Forsyth trying to give room to Peterson. Peterson down on the bottom. He has no place to go. There's a lot of IndyCar starts, especially in this car, between at least Peterson and Forsyth. And wow, you can see the experience paying off right there.
That was incredible. What a save. Now
The
they're
next-
all back in line.
Well, the next save comes to Kenneth E. Smith. They need to be within his draft wake, which is only about 0.7 of a second in this car. Kirchenbauer is digging desperately on the bottom. Indy Kirchenbauer, the prodigy, to try to catch Kenneth E. Smith here.
And let's give you some gaps here on the tree. That is, we're now showing gaps between cars. And here's the gap to that key battle right here is Kirkenbauer to Smith. And you said it needs to get closer to 6 or 7 tenths, and he's about a tenth away.
Gary, I
Seem to
believe you mean dirt or legends tenths. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Glendy. I had to.
I'm going to hold my tongue on that one, a little bit of an inside joke there. But it looks like Fortson and Kirchenbauer still can't quite decide who wants to lead this train, but they are slowly reeling in Smith, whereas I think the lead group is all more or
Ooh.
less single file. Wagner took a look on Brashear there down the back straightaway, but they're all lined up on the bottom now.
I believe this is Kenneth Smith's first start in this series. I want to double check that just to be sure. But he is putting on a good show here in the early stages. Yes, this is Kenneth Smith's first start in the series, so he is up 3 spots, had a top 10 qualifying position, and is now currently running 7th. So a good debut so far. Early stages, lap 21 of 150. Back up front, Caleb Brashear, the Bash brothers, 1 and 2.
I mean, obviously, we're still a pretty good ways away from green flag pit stops should they ever arrive. But question for you guys, I know Clendy put the over-under at 1.5. How many cautions do you think are going to be caused from pitting off turn 4 here in this one?
I would say at least we got one caution coming out of it for sure, and I think everyone will learn very quickly after that.
Well, I think with the way that this field has separated, that I actually think that the first round will go off without a hitch, especially with the 8 or 9 cars that stayed out and will need to fill their tanks sooner. I think they'll give each other the breathing room required to get to pit road. It's that snarling pack of pitters in the back who I'm more worried about, but they get to go, 10 laps further than all the cars in front. So we'll get to that bridge when it's time to burn it.
Riding with Caleb Brashear right now, and we're in his in-car and watching how he navigates this. So through 3 and 4, which is traditionally banked, as it's always been with the 24 degree of banking. And then it gets narrow off the corner here. Sometimes the car gets light, even in the old scan. And then here is the reprofiled turns 1 and 2. And listen to him. He's down to 4th gear and almost about 190 miles an hour. Oh, right out to the wall. I think he might have just tapped it.
And with Murphy being magnetized to the white line, it just builds more and more heat in the right side tires of the trailing car, because you come into the corner with more speed from the draft you get from the straightaways, and then you have to take a wider line, a wider apex to get through the corner, which is just more speed you have to use at a harsher angle of attack.
Yep, and so that was a good example of it right there.
It's all coming up roses for Murphy while he's starting to scoot away from the rest of this pack.
Yeah, that secondary pack has started to string its way out a little more. Indy Kirchenbauer is now just 0.6 of a second behind Kenneth E. Smith, so that is going to be quite the battle coming up here in a few laps, I'm sure.
But Smith has fallen too far behind Zier, so Kirchenbauer won't be able to leapfrog his way from one pack to the other. He's got work to do to catch these leaders. Yeah,
this group needs maybe a caution here at some point. Or really, how much does this group need a caution knowing that everyone else, like, for instance, Indy is stopped already? Does he really need a caution knowing that the first 7 in front of him are going to come to pit road? He'd like to be closer, I'm sure.
Well, Kirchenbauer probably leading that pack isn't going to be able to make the fuel save to cut a stop. Everyone behind him may be able to. Thinking like Tristan Fortson, like Jeff Hysong, Eric Peterson. Those guys have been much more orderly, and they haven't been breaking the air. Craig Forsyth particularly looks like he's very, very keen just to sit behind the drivers being too wide in front of him and sip the gas very, very leanly.
Former series champion. Go ahead.
Indy is starting to break away from Tristan. I mean, he's definitely getting a pretty good gap on them as well. Very curious to see how that's going to affect things here.
Well, I like Zier and Casey Povolona side by side in the 1. Zier down low, re-secures the position. Wags back to 4th. Stouffer around him up to 3rd.
Yep, new player on the podium. It's 4D Racewear's Chris Stouffer. Up 3 spots from the start. This guy doesn't know slow. It's not a word in his vocabulary.
Never. Traditional. I mean, he has wins across multiple series in the community. Dark Horse, Area 51, Lionheart. You name it, he's got a win in it just about. Watching him navigate the field. Yeah, go ahead. We'll go to Brashear and Murph up front.
Yeah, Brashear over the last 10 laps, he's been running 25.059er, 25.089 now, while Murphy has been running 25.101s. So barely a difference between them, but just a hair faster for Brashear, as he's going to look to the outside, but he's not going to be able to get there on this lap.
Casey Povolona set the purple lap a little bit earlier in the race, by the way, in a 2:20. So we are in the 2:20 for a lap average, but that is with much fresher tires. Go ahead, Clinty.
What Brashear is looking to do is build momentum on the high side, then cross over Murphy on corner exit to get to the bottom for the next set of corners. Every time he's had a good enough run, Murphy's covered it and had the bottom sealed off. But I've had a lot of success getting that move to work off of turn 2. It looks like Brashear's been trying to do it out of turn 4.
Lindy, what do you expect the first round of pit stops coming up now? We're rapidly clicking these things off. We're 23 laps past when a lot of these drivers came in on that last caution, on our only caution. This first set of drivers have not. I suspect that we'll see them on pit road here soon.
Yeah, it should be about lap 43, 44, 45, somewhere in that window.
Stouffer and Wags, a lot of experience between both these drivers in this car specifically, battling for position in the quad oval area.
And what they hate seeing is that the 2 leaders in front of them are taking both the bottom and the middle lane on entry, so there's no clear path to better air through the corner. This turn 1 at Texas, since they've reprofiled it, is so flat It just really requires patience getting to the throttle to make sure your car sticks so you don't burn the tires off of it.
Now here's a question: do you guys like the new reprofile, or did you like the relatively symmetrical Texas Motor Speedway that we had prior? I'm personally a fan of the older scan, but this is definitely a much different challenge.
Go ahead, Clindy.
I like the setups that a lot of leagues bring to these tracks. I like it when you can run the high side in turns 1 and 2. In real life, I hate that they put the traction compound on the track. But the NASCAR race last year was very entertaining, and the last time IndyCar was here, it was pretty entertaining. So I don't hate the new layout, but I liked the old one more, probably.
I think that traction compound was one of the factors why IndyCar kind of stopped coming here. Not the factor, but I think it played a role as one of the factors. I like, it should be a surprise to nobody. I like the old school, mainly because there were some banger of races back in the early IRL days here at that configuration. Now they had some banger races that they brought with the DW12s here in the past, and this particular configuration of car. The IR18s never really raced particularly well here. There were some nice races and some good finishes, especially between Newgarden and McLaughlin a couple years ago. But it's sad that this is no longer on the schedule. They really do need another track, and I know Nashville kind of fills that role of another track on the schedule that they could get around 200 mile per hour lap averages on. But they really need another track that they can do 200 at, and that was Texas playing that role, other than Indianapolis or getting low 200s at Nashville Superspeedway.
Roger Penske, if you're listening, please take the series to Homestead. Please.
Yes, I concur. Also, Roger Penske, if you can hear us, either give me New Hampshire or give me Watkins Glen. The resident New Englander here needs an IndyCar race that I can get to within my lifetime.
Take Yasella down to DC. Come watch the Freedom 250. Come on.
That's right. That's Clinty's home race now.
I love you, but nah. I'm good.
Sorry, Brashear grabs a little too much of the apron. Apron bad, and that's going to lose some momentum. And here comes Wags.
Yeah, I think Brashear's stuff is cooked. He should really consider an undercut here. Sorry, an undercut. To come to pit lane here, try to beat Murphy in, and see if he can't cook on new tires a little bit.
Wags got himself a good start for the in the Elite Racing League's 16th running of the Lucas Oil School of Racing Indy 500 this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time over the Elite Racing Network. We'll be doing the broadcast and production of that, and he's got himself a good start, and he's trying to start off a good week with a good performance leading to that big race later this week, which you will also be a part of, Clindy.
Yep, I'm starting 10th, so got a couple of teammates starting with me in the Fast 12, and hopefully we can team up against everybody else in there and try to steal Chad's money. So we'll see how that goes.
Go ahead,
hey,
Luca.
Don't forget about Votive. Locking out the last row of the grid on the bump. They struggled in the first session, but they were able to come back and do it pretty handily.
Yeah, here's one of those drivers right here, Andy Kirkenbauer, now 8th on the racetrack. He's going to start in the last row. Brashear is going to do a bit of an undercut. He's going to try for an undercut. Here he comes.
He's coming too. A lot of drivers are going to come this time.
Oh, contact, and there it is. Stouffer in the back of Stouffer. We are cautioned. And Murph, and they're going to have to drive through. I don't think they got there in time. We'll see. Are they going to make the stop or are they going to drive through?
I'll go back and check. You guys keep talking.
I'm very certain Murphy made it to pit road before it closed.
If it is, that's fortunate for him, and they're going for their stalls. So they got in before pit road was closed.
Yep, with this rescan, they moved the entry line to basically where the green light is, the light post, before where the apron turns black with that Worth sponsorship. So the commitment line is and the speed limit both start sooner than previously. So they both got to pit road just fine and will not be penalized here. They will inherit the lead after pitting here under green and yellow.
Bull.
Caleb Brashear made it by about a car length. That was so fortunate. But a massive incident. Casey Pavlones was coming at 206 miles an hour. Stouffer only going 132, and the contact was violent, and they will both have to use up their fast repair.
Yeah, and I don't think Casey's going to be able to get to pit road to roll to his position, his pit stall, to execute the fast repair. Stouffer, he might be able to. I don't know. We're watching his car right now. He might have to end up doing a tow. And if he can't get to pit road under his own power and he has a tow, that is unfortunate now that 3 key players that started up front in the start of this race are now effectively down a lap.
I mean, they both had to use their tow, but it was Povolones was able to do it from the pit lane. I'm not 100% sure if that changes anything, but he was able to get onto and remain on pit road.
Casey's car is still without a right front tire, so it hasn't popped into the box to affect service. So that tow is still going on for him and Stouffer. Stouffer doesn't appear to be in his car, so it's probably timely or a long amount of time for both of them. Important to note that Murphy did give up the lead for the first time that race, surrendering it to Matt Wagner, who has claimed the bonus point for leading a lap. So Murphy is no longer hogged all of those.
Jomo has stayed out. We'll see if Joseph Morales is going to stay out there and keep the track position, or just going for the bonus point, and will then come to pit road. We'll see this time by. But it is going to be Murph, Brashear. Yeah, we see Jomo coming low, and yeah, he's just... we see him do that quite a bit. And hey, bonus points are bonus points. Take them while you can get them. Move Murph back to the point. Caleb Brashear now second. Wags in third. Zier is now fourth. Kirkenbauer up to fifth now. So the incidents that we've seen with 3 drivers ahead of Kirkenbauer's been able to capitalize on that. And also, he has worked his way ahead of Kenneth Smith and moved Kirkenbauer up to 5th. So, again, that's key in the points battle as well. Kenneth Smith, in his first race in the series, is in 6th. Gary Lovert in 7th. Eric Peterson, that's a key driver that's in the championship. No wins, and basically he's in the top 4 and with a shot for the lead based upon his consistency. Of the top 4, he has the most miles completed out of all drivers. And so that definitely tells you the longer that you could stay out in these races, the better you do earn in points. And he is currently 8th now. Treston Fortson 9th and Craig Forsyth 10th. But just about everybody came to pit road, so we're all back on the same strategy now, Kalendi.
We are indeed. Everybody's level set on strategy here. I guess Murphy has 1 lap fewer of gasoline, him and Brashear, because they had to go around under yellow with their filled tanks while everyone else got a lap of caution for free. But we're single file here, and we'll see what Kirchenbauer can do now that he's caught the leaders, and if he can fight his way through Zier and Wagner to fight the Bash brothers at the front.
Wagner third in line. Go ahead, Luca.
The Prodigy's going to do what the Prodigy's going to do. You take it away, my friend.
Wagner third in line, and he won the last time we were here in 2021. He's over Gale Brooks and Robert Malechka in that particular race. So Wags with a winning tradition here at Texas, but not on this configuration. Again, first time ever on this configuration here in the Dark Horse DW12 series, as we see Zier and Kirchenbauer not side by side, but really Kirchenbauer attacking Zier through 3 and 4.
Now, Indy Kirchenbauer, this is his kind of game. This is where he wants to be. He loves being up in these groups. He loves taking other drivers to task, and this is what he's good at. He can really rattle other guys, be super aggressive, and you're going to see some real fireworks right here.
You think ABP stands for All Points Bulletin, actually stands for Always Be Pressuring. So that's what he does.
Always be passing.
Always be prudent. But I think that's for the college football video. We'll deal with that later. Is that the next thing coming to P1?
Oh, caution out there. Oh, and off the corner, a big wreck. Yari Brubacher's involved. And, it's unfortunately, it is Chris Stouffer again. And as a long day becomes longer for someone who has a ton of experience, and Brubacher just gets in the back of him, gives him a little bit of a kiss. But something might have broke as the car just continues rotating and comes on around, and Brubacher spears him a little bit, drives through it, Oh, and Hugo Gallas had no place to go. And who came through that? Jeff Hysong just shoots the middle.
I want to give a call to all the other drivers behind that. Everyone did a great job checking up and not running over one another. There were 6, 7, 8 drivers perhaps that got through there unscathed because everyone kept their heads on straight.
Watch this. Hysong Jeff Hysong doing his version, best impersonation of Moses. The seas split in front of him just in time, and he escapes through the gap.
I think he just overcooked it. That's all I think he did. I think he just went in a little too hot, overcharged the corner, as Clendy likes to say to me whenever he's trying to somehow make me a better race car driver, and just did a little too much. There was a bit of contact.
Yeah, it looked a lot like the incident between Brashear and Guilherme Miguel earlier. It's just the same kind of nose to tail contact right on the entry of turn 1.
Well, I got this. You got a good look at the points earlier when I kept it on the screen too long, but now here's little interactive points. Now, because of the problems we've been seeing on the racetrack, 4 drivers, 3 of which started this race. A.J. Hobson, 10th in points. He's not in tonight's lineup. He is also in the ERL's Indy 500 later this Thursday. So another driver in this league in that big race, but he's not. So he'll be kind of eliminated here for the top 10. Gary Lover looking to capitalize just by avoiding some of these wrecks. He's 9th. He might pass as many as 3 positions by the end of this race. Jeff Hysong, the entire top 5, though, still in contact with one another here points-wise as more and more competition is getting, the pool is becoming more and more shallow and shallow.
Well, the pool might be thinning or getting a little more shallow, but Guilherme Miguel is now back on the lead lap, and we know he has pace. He bided his time. He got the lucky dog, the wave around here, so now he's going to have to work his way back up from 19th up to the front, but we know that he's got the drive, the mindset, and the pace, really, to do this. So keep your eye on that yellow and white Penske replica scheme back there and see if he can work his way through the field.
And we got one more lap of caution in front of us before we go racing. Of course, IndyCar came here for a number of years. In fact, was raced here 36 times at Texas Motor Speedway between 97 and 2024. And some of those years, they used to race here twice. They had one race that immediately followed the Indianapolis 500, and then they had another race for the longest time that was the season finale. It was once a staple, like I said, of the schedule, but for a variety of reasons, not entirely known to the fans, but just we hear a number of excuses. It's been dropped from the schedule, and of course now been replaced by a street race just up the road a piece in Arlington. I'd like to see him come back here, but I doubt we will, with provided that the Arlington race is going to be a staple of the schedule now. There are 2 IndyCar open-wheel track records here. Cart tried to qualify here back in a race in 2001 for the ill-fated Firestone Firehawk 600. Kenny Breck turned a lap, guys. Still unbelievable to think about it in this days. I mean, he was back in one of the little jet fighter darts that the Cart series used to run in here. 2:33.4 was his one lap, qualifying best lap speed and qualifying on the pole. But they end up canceling the race. I think one of the factors that kind of led to the downfall of Cart was the canceling of this race. It cost them a ton of money, but a ton of drivers were suffering from vertigo because of the high G-forces. But he set the track record here at the speed of 223. But when the Indy cars ran here, the IRL cars, it was a much more pedestrian 225 was the track record here set by Billy Boat. There's a name you don't hear very often. But when they did reconfigure the track record is held by Charlie Kimball with a speed of 222.5. Not much different in these particular cars in 2016. Green flag back out. It is Murph. It is Caleb Brashear. It is Wags, Lilac, Zier, and Kirkenbauer restarting this race, boys.
Yeah, and to that point, they're not even close to 225 average here in this configuration of the track, just because of the reduced speed to the flat end of 1 and 2. Brashear's looking really hungry here, trying to use these cool, fresh tires to get around Murphy while they're still up to grip.
Yeah, they're 5 miles per hour off that 225 here. Fastest lap in the race was 220, and it's some change set by Casey Povolonis a little bit earlier in the race. I think we were up in the 221s or so in qualifying, but yeah, you're right. The reconfigure definitely slowed them down, and that was part of the idea, really.
I am of the opinion that attempting to slow down race cars, outside of it being a safety issue, is not what you should be doing. I feel like you should keep them hauling, but that might just be me. Of course, once you start getting into safety issues, then of course slow them down as much as you need to. But come on, let them race.
Safety-wise, there were some vicious wrecks here that have happened in the past. Kenny Breck not only holds that kart track record, he actually holds one of those vicious wrecks. Davey Hamilton, also another one of those vicious wrecks, and they were like extremely vicious, like going into the wall nose first, vicious.
Who had the 236G?
I think that was Breck.
Yeah.
And that basically cost him the remainder of his IndyCar career. But I believe it opened an opportunity for Buddy Rice to get that seat, and then later he parlayed that into an Indy 500 win. So just imagine kind of the what-if scenarios of IndyCar as we see Kirkenbauer getting around Zier now for fourth. What if Kenny Breck didn't have that wreck here?
What if they never left Texas World Speedway?
Oh, that would have been awesome as well.
We need those 2-milers. Those 2-milers really is. I mean, there were 3 of them. It was Texas World, Auto Club, and Michigan, and now 2 of them are gone.
Yeah.
See that species down to its final specimen is just it's a damn shame.
Texas World and Michigan were built about at the same time. Texas World in College Station, where Texas A&M is, kind of in the middle of nowhere. But it's been demolished. It's hoping that maybe, I know iRacing doesn't like to do fictional tracks or historical tracks that they can't go out and get a scan of, but then they give us iRacing Super Speedway. If they want to kind of redo Michigan and call it Texas World Speedway and kind of throw some graphics in there and everything from all the historical photographs, that would be awesome. And while you're at it, why don't you make a Ontario based off Indianapolis?
I was going to say, a little bit of ball knowledge. I think Luca forgot one 2-miler, which is the 2-mile Indy clone, which is Ontario in California as well. That was 2 miles, right?
The 2.5. That was the Indy of the West. It was an exact clone. Yes. I take that back. Not exact. They have a little bit more banking in the short shoot, and actually the very first 200-mile-per-hour Indianapolis car lap, so Champ Car lap back in the USAC era, was actually turned at Ontario, not Indianapolis.
Caleb Brashear with a big run. He's not going to be able to get there just yet. But that just seems to be the case with this race, and so many of these 1.5-mile courses, is that if you can just hold that white line the whole way around at the bottom as the leader, it's going to be next to impossible for the second-place car to get around you.
Well, Clinty, there's an opportunity. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Clinty, but I'm going to toss it to you. There is an opportunity, Clinty, here for not necessarily that style of racing at this racetrack because of the reprofiled 1 and 2. If Murph spends too much time on the bottom, he won't quite have that momentum, and if from a higher side run in 1 and 2. And I think that's maybe what Caleb's trying to do. He's staying to the high side, getting that cleaner air, and trying for a little momentum. But once you get to the bottom in 3 and 4, the bottom in 3 and 4 is always going to be the faster line just because of the way it's configured.
Yeah, that was Caleb's MO or his objective on the first run. He just burned his tires off. That's when Murphy was starting to scoot away at the end. The same thing's going to happen here. Murphy's just got way too much of an advantage with the clean air in front of him. If this goes long enough to where they find traffic in front of them, or we see something happen with alternate pit strategies, which everyone's on the same equal footing right now, we could see that.
Sorry, Shane Coker. A lot of drivers getting close to that turn 2 exit wall, and Shane got there, gave it a little bit of a Texas kiss, and gets off it, and no harm, no foul right now. Cost him a little momentum. He's back to 14th. Just one spot.
Fine. He's fine.
Yeah, but Guillermo Miguel, he's back on the lead lap after getting 2 cautions and 2 lucky dogs, so he is now going to try and take it past Shane Coker. Won't be able to get there. Will Coker be able to hold it up on the outside? Not just yet. The answer to that question is going to be
clear.
No, as a great clear there by Guillermo Miguel.
We've had a host of first-time winners here in the series over the last couple of seasons. Guillermo's the last one. Indy Kirkenbauer earlier this season at Charlotte. Chris Albrecht who will also be in the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 this Thursday, former pole sitter there. He won at Indianapolis here, our last time we visited Indianapolis. Jeff Heisong won at Michigan a season ago. Eric Peterson at Iowa a season ago. John Martins at Pocono a season ago. Then we go back to season 7, Rafi Eckert and Edson Santos back in season 7. Mark Cohn back in season 7 won their first races here. So over the last 3 seasons, we've had a whole host of first-time winners, and it's good to see as Shane Coker underneath Jeremy Miguel. Miguel's not going to let up on the high side. Wow, Miguel slides back down and gets the position.
I have a question for you, Clendy. Looking ahead to the Elite Racing League 500, how does that help you prepare for the big events, the big 500 coming up next month, the multiple 500s coming up next month?
In a lot of ways, it doesn't. The setup is so different. The competition is so different. The way the field is set is so different that there are a lot of things that don't apply, but the things that do apply will make me sharper, right? Just managing a 500-mile race, managing stiff competition, and executing clean green flag pit stops are also pivotal at Indianapolis. That's really going to be my main takeaways, and being able to lock those down this Thursday will carry me through the whole month of May.
Interesting statistic that I found out about Richie Hearn, former IndyCar driver, former IndyCar race winner at Las Vegas in 1996. He will be in the lineup for the Elite Racing League's Indy 500. And he is celebrating the 30th anniversary of his very first Indy 500 starts back in 1996. He started in the same position that he's actually starting in the Elite Racing League's Thursday night race, and he ended up in that 96 race finishing 3rd.
How the isn't it just funny, some of the coincidences that we have here in iRacing, and the chance to be able to go up against these people who have driven in real life. I mean, I can't remember who it was who I went up against. I may have gone up against Oriol Servia a couple months back, if I remember correctly. It may have been someone else, but I think it was Servia.
My buddy Ty Keela, my teammate, he tells everyone he knows that he's beat Willpower in the sim. So.
Same with Sophie Connell.
Well, Sophie Connell's beat Joseph Newgarden in real life, so she has a little more to brag than others, I think.
Great battle back for the 9th position as Treston Fortson and Kenny Smith going at it. They are Kenny Smith. He's having a very, very solid debut race.
Gentlemen, do you know how many drivers, now the surname Smith, the most common surname in the United States, right? Do you know how many Smiths have qualified for the Indianapolis 500?
0.
0, that is correct. No Smiths have ever won the Indianapolis 500. No one's ever qualified for the Indy 500. Well, one qualified but got bumped, so one's never started the Indy 500.
Speaking of bumping, Matt Wagner's going to have a great run here on Caleb Brashear. Let's see if he can bump him off the 2nd position here. He's going to dial up the inside. No, thinks better of it. Come on, Wags.
I think that may have been a mistake. That may have been
a mistake. Ship it in there. You're not going to get another chance.
Oh, and he goes out to the wall, and he gives it a good smack, and that's going to open the door for Kirchenbauer.
That's why I said it was going to be a mistake, is here comes Kirchenbauer anytime.
Oh, look at him slide on up and give the dirty air. Arrow blocks, but it's legal.
If you are not immediately taking your move up ahead and Indy Kirchenbauer is behind you, he is going to go past you. And that's what we saw just there. And they get very close.
He just used that momentum on the high side and sails on by. And I think he might have got Indy to flinch a little bit.
That's impressive. Oh, but apron bad. He almost spins around. So that's going to be another opportunity for Kirchenbauer to make a move.
Sure leaves the bottom open this time, but that top and middle lane just rolls so much more momentum.
Run out of room so quick off the corner in that middle lane. It's hard to judge. I've driven these cars a number of times in this configuration as well, or just open wheelers in general at this configuration, not necessarily the DW12, but that middle line, you just run out of room so quick on exit. You just don't really feel like that you're running out of room until like, oh my goodness, I'm there. I'm out of room. Oh, Like Zier almost runs out of room. Peterson and Lovern kind of run out of room, too. I think everyone's kind of moving that line up, and they're trying to adjust right now.
Everything's fine, and there's the wall.
That's actually Peterson and Povolonis. Povolonis got the fast repair. He is currently down in 20th position, 2 laps down. So he would like to see another caution come out.
2 of them.
But here are your conditions. 105 on the track temp, 72 on the ambient, 80 of 150 in the books. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on this IndyCar Sunday night, Long Beach weekend. Next big race, well, we're going to be at Indianapolis. But the next race for us here in the Dark Horse Series, here you go. We will be at Pocono next, and then we go to Homestead, Miami, and then we will wrap up with Indianapolis here in June. So only 3 more point-paying events after tonight's race. Can Murph defend that championship that he got from a season before without getting a single win last season? He at least has 1 win this season. That seems to be powering his consistency. Now we have a battle for second brewings. Caleb Brashear and Wags in the 3 and 4.
They swapped it a couple of times, and Wags is now on top, but they need to be careful. The more they fight, the closer Kirchenbauer gets, and Kirchenbauer's been dedicated to the bottom in 1 and 2. His tires will be better on the long run.
Are they actually working together, or they are fighting, or are working together? I mean, I think they're trying to run down Murph. Obviously, at 1.4 seconds, they need to work together. They're smart enough to know that.
This is not a 2-step. This is a standoff.
Dude. I'm sorry for having to add the sound effect there. But no, this is really going to be quite the battle. A 3-way fight for that 3rd position. For the 2nd spot. But Murphy is just gone. As now Wagner, he's going to look to the bottom. Will he be able to hold it? The answer is yes. A great move from Matt Wagner. He takes over that 2nd spot, but Brashear not done yet.
Of course, Wags has a win here, but at Legacy, Texas. The career wins leaders here in IndyCar history as we watch this battle. Kirchenbauer down low as he's capitalizing just like you said he would, Luca. Scott Dixon leads with 5. Castro Neves with 4. Sam Hornish. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the Scots here in a second. Sam Hornish, Joseph Newgarden with 3. Then we got Willpower, Scott Sharp, and Scott Goodyear each have 2. So some names we don't talk about, but that a lot in IndyCar history, but had some pretty good success here in the Indy Racing League days here at Texas, showing up on the win chart. Mark Murphy, your leader.
I think Wags has new life breathed into him, that he's found clean air behind Murphy. He's basically, effectively, the 2nd leader. He can run qualifying laps here, try to reel Murphy in and beat him to pit road maybe, and see where the dice shake out for this final run.
They are 42 laps into this stint, so I would imagine, and we've been all green on this stint, I would imagine we're coming to pit road, everybody, very soon, very, very shortly.
Murphy will be first because he's broke the air the whole way.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild pit cycle here. Would not be surprised if we see a yellow come out during the next few laps.
Well, I got us to the 1. You asked earlier what the over-under, and I said 1. So, then I said I think everyone's going to learn, and that was during when they were coming to pit road. Hey, if you enjoy the coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series here on P1, presented by 4D Racewear, and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so to miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Tonight's 4th running of the Dark Horse Texas 225, and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel, and now race awards and custom championship rings for your leagues. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Pit stops imminent here.
Brashear just called it out.
Murphy's in this lap.
Stopping for a go-go juice. Here they come.
Funny story about Mark Murphy and Go-Go Juice here. In an official race once, he had that as his quick chat for pitting. I didn't realize what that meant. My brain wasn't keyed for it, and I ran him over because I wasn't expecting him to peel off the race.
Imagine that, an incident between you and Murph.
Well, I think that was one of our very first ones. I think that was probably back in 2019 or 2018.
Do you know where the phrase go-go juice comes from?
I'm going to assume Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes, from Smokey and the Bandit, yes. When Snowman says
references.
that he's going to stop for some go-go juice and get some food for Fred in the truck.
And now here's Wagner. Kirchenbauer is in. I mean, we're going to have a whole plethora of drivers coming in now. This is the second lap in this round.
Well, I like Zier saved a bunch of fuel. She's currently in first, and now she's coming to pit road by herself. Let's see if Craig Forsyth will join her, or if Craig's going to come an extra lap. No, Craig and Lilac are good at saving fuel. This is not surprised to see them go deep into the run here. Go ahead.
Haisong overshot his pit box. He had to go into reverse very quickly. He was able to find that gear, but he's going to lose a ton of time after that.
And when you have only the couple of cautions we have, and the fact that we're now starting to get strung out, we might not see another caution messing up on pit road under green flag pit stops. Not good for our former race winner at Michigan a season ago.
Now, Guillerme is on 41 laps. Brubaker, he's on 42. Definitely, there's 5 cars left who have not pit. They should be coming imminently.
We got Miguel, Brubacher, Gallas, primetime John Steller, to say hey, Lewis Hayes in that Texas livery. They have not stopped. Mark is back 1 lap down in 6th. So he wants these drivers to come to pit road as soon as possible before a caution comes out. And there we see just behind them, there is Wags. There is Caleb trying to keep track of the leader. Brubacher, JB. It's been a while since JB got in the win here in the Dark Horse Series. A little bit of a drought. He would like to break that. And in case you're wondering, no, that is not a trading paints issue. That is Brubacher. That's his DW12 livery. That's what I've always known him in.
Default iRacing scheme. Looking good.
Brubacher to the inside down the backstretch. I don't know if this is maybe his call that he's coming to pit road, or he's just conceding the position to Murph. He's coming.
Yeah.
Oh! Wags was on a full send there, and again, closing rate in these cars. In fact, I want to show everybody what the closing rates in these cars are like.
Did you hear him call it out, Clendy? Because I didn't.
We're gonna ride full chat here. This is full chat with Matt Wagner. He sees this car to the inside. This is the car that's pitting right there. Watch the closing rate. Football field a second. Boom, right there.
Murphy was going about 210 compared to, what was it, about 140.
Brubacher coming off.
210.
Brubacher coming off pit road with a friend. He will pop out with Haisong, so just on the south side of the top 10. But with this pit cycle over, it is Murph, Wags, Caleb Brashear, the Prodigy. Then we have Lilac Zier, Eric Peterson very quietly up to 6th, Gary Levern up to 7th, Craig Forsyth at 8th, Treston Fortson 9th, and Haisong at 10th. That is your top 10 as we are quickly getting to about 50 laps to go.
The longer this green flag run goes, Murphy will likely not catch lapped traffic until the end of the last stint. And up until then, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I don't believe we will see a single pass for position on the racetrack.
Wow.
I think everyone has sorted into the positions where they rightfully deserve to be. Everyone has figured out what their pace differential is, and it's very, very hard to pass here. Sure, Casey Povolonis will be mixing it up for track position, but as he is 2 laps down, he's behind the 8 ball and not passing for spots, just for track position.
Well, he's actually providing a bit of a service right now to Jeff Haisong and this group behind by, as you mentioned, punching a hole in the air. They're just following suit.
Yeah, Tristan Fortson wants him to pull over right now. No. Do not tow all of those competitors back up to me. I rightfully broke away from them. Who are you to bring them back to my back door?
Well,
Please
Clendy, I
stop.
have bad news for you. There was just a pass for position.
I'm not omniscient.
Brubacher goes around Clay Kirchenbauer after he tagged the outside wall. So I'll give you half a point. I'll say it wasn't fully a pass for position. Well, that one was, as Kirchenbauer gets passed by Guilherme.
2 half points make 1 point. Got it.
Sam Crow checking in the chat. He says, let's go Murph and Brashear. Got to give a shout out to Say Hey Lewis Hayes as well. His car, again, the Texas car here. You see, very, very festive Texas themed car for Say Hey Lewis Hayes.
Is that the best baseball movie of all time, Major League? I think
yes. I think so. Although Mr. Baseball is also a big favorite of mine as well.
I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. Everybody can have their own favorite baseball movie, but there's Angels in the Outfield, there's Moneyball, there's the Sandlot.
Moneyball is exceptional. It is good.
There are a lot of good baseball movies.
And say what you want. It was female baseball. I know people don't necessarily know, but
A League of Their Own,
hey, was made in Indianapolis. Part of it was made in Indianapolis at the old Busch Stadium that I went to as a kid. But that is an exceptional movie, and it has the most classic line in all the baseball movies. And there's some of them that we could talk about here, like
no crying in baseball.
You can't cry in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. Yeah, you can't cry in baseball. You crying in baseball? You crying? There's no crying in baseball.
However, there is actually going to be a new women's baseball league starting this year. Kelsey Whitmore, who is a pitcher for Savannah Bananas, she was the number 1 overall pick, and she's basically going to be their Shohei Ohtani. She is hitting and pitching.
Wow. Speaking of Savannah Bananas, we're talking baseball, and then we want to bring it back to IndyCar racing in Indianapolis. Indianapolis now has a Savannah Bananas franchise?
Yes, the
Indianapolis Clowns. Yes. Named after the former Negro League team that was here in town. So there's a deep history of, long-time baseball in Indianapolis outside of just racing in general. But a Major League franchise has never taken hold there. Oh, wow. Brashear up in the wall. Major League franchise, early in the Major League Baseball's history, there were franchises here, but there is no current Major League franchise here. We do have the minor league franchise, which is still holds the Indians' name in this day and age of political correctness. We can still call ourselves the Indianapolis Indians, and it's been okayed by all the tribal authorities here locally and in the state of Indiana, but we serve we are a farm team that serves the Pittsburgh Pirates, which it's not one of the greatest teams in the Major League Baseball right now, but we still serve them with the best we have.
Technically, the Indianapolis Clowns were in fact a Major League franchise. They have retroactively made the Negro National League as a major league, so that there officially were 3 at one point.
Yep, we had the Indianapolis Capitals and the Indianapolis Hoosiers were other professional Major League Baseball teams here in the city, and we're talking
surprising name in the history of baseball.
Yeah, back into the late 1800s, early 1900s. Yeah, like we're talking early dead ball era, early dead ball. I mean, you can't really find statistics. That's when you had players like Smokey Joe Wood named like that, or Three Finger Brown, and all these different nicknames. Guys with the curly mustaches.
Maybe we should go through and give everybody a dead ball baseball nickname for every driver in the field that we can have.
I call being Tungsten Armo Doyle.
We'll workshop them and we'll bring them back.
There we go. Well, we got old and slow Mark Murphy. Matt Wagner is just Matty Wags. That's what we've kind of nicknamed. Caleb Brashear has picked up I've given him Freebird, and he's one half of the Bass Brothers with Mark Murphy. Indy Kirkenbauer is a prodigy. Lilac's just too nice. I don't know what to give Lilac. Eric Peterson, he's been around a while. He deserves. I mean, he's one of the admins here. He's the host with the most.
He is the dark horse.
The dark horse. Dark horse Eric Peterson. Yeah. And then we got Gary Lovern. He has not gotten one yet. That's Gary with 2 R's.
the Big Cheese right behind him. Craig Forsyth. Does he have a nickname?
The Canadian,
Craig?
I guess.
Yep. Le Canadien.
He's not French.
Oh, see, but it's funnier if it was.
Well, I have a couple of Pierres that I think might object to us doling out Quebecois nicknames.
There's Jari Brubacher. We call him JB. That's kind of his moniker.
Guillerme is just Guillerme.
And then Clay is the senior Kirkenbauer.
We gotta call him the progenitor.
The progenitor.
Yeah.
The progenitor and the prodigy.
Yeah.
High Song. What do we got for?
We don't.
Oh,
we don't. And
He's gonna get past.
this
here.
is a battle for position between him and primetime John Stellard. That is
Great,
stuck.
Nick. That's the best one. That's the best one. I mean, so one day once he starts taking, if he ever takes Clendy's job as a iRacing coach, he is going to have to be Coach Prime, and I want to hear him say, "Give me my theme music."
And he got the nickname Primetime because he started showing up into the top split of the Indy Oval Series we cover on Tuesday nights, and was getting top 10s regularly. And I'm like, hey, we don't know this guy, we don't know this name, and here he is, shows up during the Primetime and delivers. And now he's on the Votive Racing team, and he's held on to the name Primetime John Stellard. And then Shane Coker, of course, he's the host with the most over on Votive. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. We've talked about his nickname. He's in 15th.
It's like Forsyth was the first to start his final stint.
Yes, notice that he's gone down into 17th, and he's now off of pit road. So he is clean and green now with 33 to go, hoping that everyone else stops in front of him. Kirkenbauer, pit road.
Wagner has bit into Mark Murphy's lead. He's now within spitting distance of Old and Slow.
27 laps on Murphy's tires, 28 now, 27 on Wagner's. This is going to be quite the battle if they can get up to him. But Clay Kirchenbauer, he's going to be pitting as well. So everyone starting to realize, hey, look, this is going to be a short sprint to the end. I don't want to come in too late, but this will be a very interesting round of pit stops.
Well, both the Kirchenbauers have pit, the prodigy and the progenitor. And it looks like Indy at least.
That's going to stick. That's going to stick. I got a question in chat. They're asking, does this league run road courses? Traditionally, no. However, they have run Canadian Tire Park. They have run the Circuit of Americas. They've run Donington in the past. And if you and I think they might have run Watkins Glen also in the past, but Road America, Silverstone, I think they've also run in the past. I'm just looking real quick at their history in Sim Racer Hub. You can go to check out the Dark Horse Racing Series in Sim Racer Hub if you want. But I believe there is an invite in the description to their Discord server. Click on that, join, and talk to one of the admins and talk to them about possibly adding some road courses. But traditionally, this has been lately an oval league, but they have had road courses in the past. It's been a while, but they have had road courses in the past.
Well, does this car even have the ability to run on road courses?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, the DW12 ran both roads and.
Well, I know it in real life. It obviously ran.
Yeah.
I just have never seen it run anywhere else but ovals.
Well, and if you look at the Dallara Dash series, and of course everyone remember, Dallara Dash. Everyone remember, you get this car for free. All you need is to buy the tracks, and to join the league is free as well. Although I'm sure they will take your donation if you wish to give them a donation for the admins, because none of what we do is free. And if you want to be a part of it to learn more, that's what I suggest is get in there to the Discord and lobby for some road courses if you want to. But it's been a while. I showed that they ran Canadian Tire Motorsports Park back in season 4, so that was back in 2021. So it's been a while. And of course, you mentioned Dallara Dash. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you did mention Dallara Dash, and Dallara Dash, does run pretty much all ovals, I think. Although I think they go to Laguna Seca, I think. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're totally okay, Gary. Eddie Kirchenbauer is clipping 6 to 7/10 faster a lap than Murphy and Wagner right now. Murphy has had his first taste of dirty air this evening. Gary Lovren was ahead of him while on fresher tires and has now pulled away. I really think Indy Kirchenbauer will cycle to the lead here once Murphy and Wagner choose to pit. Whether or not he'll be able to hold the lead with older tires at the end remains to be seen, but I think the deficit will be erased, and he'll be out probably to a 2-second lead, I would assume.
Murph, Wags, and Brashear, they're all together. Go ahead, Luca.
I'm never going to count Indy Kirchenbauer out. I mean, I have driven with him since I kind of joined the iRacing community, maybe, what was it, about 6 months ago now, and the kid is terrifyingly fast. I mean, this is someone who is going to be one of, if not the best, on this service in the next few years. I mean, if you don't know the name yet, you're about to learn. And this is the kind of thing that he does. He can, even in a pit strategy race, he just finds his way to the front every single time. He does not know how to lose.
So I'm putting together my script for the Indy 500 this week. Of course, he's in the lineup. And I looked at his stats. He has 526 career iRacing wins over 5 years.
Oh, double pit stop here. It's Wagner and Brashear, and I think
Wags gets him at the line. He does.
Wagner pipped him. That is incredible.
Let's watch that again.
Black flags, no one sped. Now Wagner's just got to stop in his box clean.
Watch this again, guys. Oh, yeah, he does. He
gets
just
out first. He
gets in there.
And Murphy did not get in his box cleanly. So I think that it's going to be Matt Wagner to the lead, and the answer is a resounding yes.
Yes.
He gets him
And it's not even close. It's not even close.
No. Indy Kirchenbauer.
But Kirchenbauer passes him. He just blows him away. Now, does he have the tires that are going to allow? We've seen with this car. And Clinty, this is me and you covering the Iconic Series over in the Velocity Online Racing League. We've seen in this car that fresh tires, late in races, are your best friend. Does Indy have enough? Does he have enough to hold him off? Is it a short enough race that he could possibly do it, or is it long enough for Murph to run him down?
Wags and Murph don't have enough time, and Indy Kirchenbauer has all the clean air in the world. He's a whole straightaway ahead, and they've only got 20 laps.
And they're racing each other.
The prodigy.
They're
Absolutely.
racing each other right now, and they can't afford to do that with these fresh tires.
Is there trouble up ahead? No, there's not. I thought that maybe there was something on the map, but that was not accurate. But
Murphy pipped Wagner back on their outlap.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy battle.
There's a lot of traffic in front of them. They got Jomo, Kenny Smith, Casey Povolonis. Wait, we have a Kenny Smith. I just realized that Kenny the Jet Smith.
He's the Jet.
The Jet.
It's
there he
the
goes.
Jet.
So he's now our version of the Jet.
Well, no, we.
Or maybe we call him the Turbine. I don't know.
Yes. Lilac Zero, black flag entering.
Oh, and you get this deep into the race only to get the black flag and a 40-second hold for Lilac, and that is disappointing because that pretty much ruins a top five finish as we see Freebird coming off pit road. Caleb Brashear.
No, but I was going to say this a little bit earlier. You were talking about, you and Clendy were talking about can Indy Kirchenbauer hold them off. Tire advantage obviously is super important here. Clean air is obviously super important here, but talent also helps. This is something that, I mean, as I said a few minutes ago, he's uber talented. He will find a way.
Not only that, Murphy's got a wall of air in front of him from the Turbine and the Big Cheese.
Are we overdoing the nicknames? I feel like we're overdoing the nicknames.
It's fun.
It's fun. We're having fun.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's broadcasting coverage of round 6 of 9 of season 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 40 Racewear, coming to you from Texas Motor Speedway for the 4th running of the Dark Horse Texas 225. Where currently Yari Brubacher leads.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa, coming off the corner, got close there.
Oh, and Murphy is not happy with Casey. Oh, we got beef. Casey and Murphy chirping at each other.
Hey, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that next race. The next race for us will be Sunday, May 3rd here in the Dark Horse Series as we go to Pocono for round 7 for the 8th running of the Dark Horse Pocono 300, one of our longest races of the year. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on the 8th. Tonight's 4th running of the Texas 225 is presented by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. And now race awards and custom rings for your own leagues. I mean, they're so awesome. I've seen them before. Check them out today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. And, of course, if you want to be a part of the Dark Horse Racing Series, you want to join it, the car is free, the league is free. All you need are the tracks and the drive. Click on the Discord link in the description to get started today. 14 to go.
Shane Coker's out here on fresh tires. It looks like Murphy got by him, but Wagner's going to be stuck behind. We'll see if Coker can manipulate these tires to help his teammate who's leading, Kirchenbauer.
And he's also a teammate of Povolonis. And, of course, he was just Murph was just chirping at one of, and this is the head of the votive team, Shane Coker. Coker might want to get up there and, hey, don't be chirping at my boys. When does Jari Brubacher come to pit road? 42 laps into this stint. He went 45 last time. I don't think he's going to make it. He's going to have to come to pit road. Lewis Hayes, black flag coming to pit road. He's going to have a 40-second hold. Brubacher, I believe, is coming to pit road this time. We saw him make a quick, abrasive move down the backstretch, and normally that's a nonverbal communication these drivers do. I'm coming to pit road if they don't call it out. So he is on pit road now for his final stop, and that is going to turn the lead over to Kirchenbauer as he comes off of 4, and he will pick up the lead now, and we'll see what type of lead he has over Murph. And does Murph have time? 11 to go, 2 seconds. Murph has time.
It's going to be close, Gary. If Murphy can catch Kirchenbauer, I believe he has the pace differential. But look, Hugo Galez, now another votive driver coming out with fresh tires between Kirchenbauer, Murphy, and Wagner. They were kind of kidding during our Long Beach watch party that this is going to be a votive stack night, and it's all coming up Kirchenbauer right now.
Well, this will be a good start to the week for Kirchenbauer to get a win here. And again, starting on the back row at Indy in the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 later this week. No one's ever won the real Indy 500 from the last row, but there is always a first time for everything, including in the Elite Racing League. So this is a good start to the week for the Prodigy. Can he get the win here? 10 to go, and not only get the win, but dig into Murph's points lead just a little bit.
Did Hamilton Akabuese not win from the last row last
28th. Started 28th.
20? Oh,
so he tied Louis Meyer and Ray Haroon.
Well, how many were in the... When Ray Haroon won, how many were on the starting grid? Wasn't it like 35?
Yeah, 33 wasn't a customized or a formal number until about the 20s or 30s. Yeah.
Coker's going 3 wide with Wagner and Murphy.
Yeah, he is.
Here we go.
He's staying high. Oh, look at him run out of room. He keeps it off the wall, but it allows Wagner on by. Now Wagner in contact. Wagner sees this as an opportunity. He needs to get around Murph so he can also gain on Murph a little bit in the points.
And there's traffic ahead.
Indy is thrilled to see that. Indy, I mean, he probably can't even see it in his mirrors, but he is thrilled to see these two fighting for position, because every single time they do that, he is going to be gaining more and more time on them and just running away.
Murph's cut into it by about a half second. It was 2 seconds. It's now 1.5, 7 to go.
Let's take a look at the lap times as they come across here. Last lap for Kirchenbauer was a 25.548, and Wagner 25.398.
Wagner just sent it on Murphy. He's now in second place.
1.4 to the leader. Now they're trying to work together, but it's very late in the closing stages. Are we running out of time? Could the Prodigy be seeing his second career win here in the Dark Horse Racing Series here at Texas? Had one win earlier this season. That win was at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a track almost identical to this. You look at it from above. Now, the slightly profiled different in the corners, but has that quad oval area. But once you kind of get used to a format, it works well, and you just keep going well there. And Clindy now, 4 to go. Or excuse me,
Yeah,
Clindy,
Brashear is
Kirkenbauer 4 to go. Go ahead, Clindy.
It's okay. Brashear has caught Wagner and Murphy. He has the tire advantage on them both because he overcut. So he's now trying to vie for second place, if not the win.
Is he going to actually race for the P2 or the win, or is he going to try to show mercy with time running out? Letting the points leaders try to get maximum points, so how they're going to race this out.
3 to go for Kirchenbauer.
3 to go.
Time is running out. It's holding steady, I think, save for some catastrophic incident here. I think Kirchenbauer has it. You can never be too sure, but I think he's got it.
Well, I'm pretty much
clean air, baby.
Yeah, clean air, and I think next flag is basically going to end this thing with the exception of the white flag. If we go caution, this is going to finish the race under caution. This is IndyCar racing, people. No green-white checkers here. No gimmicks. We're racing to 150 laps, and we're going to stay at 150 laps. Kirchenbauer now through 1 and 2 with a lap and a half to go.
Gallas being his rear gunner, sticking right to his attenuator. Murphy's still grinding away at the gap. They're coming to the white flag.
A lot. But here they come as Jeff Highsong asks how many laps down. 1 more to go. 1 more time around for Indy Kirchenbauer.
Through 2, up to the line, looking for career win number 2 and a start of a big week for the Prodigy. Clear through 2 into 3 and 4, turning for home. Win number 2 for the season and digging into the points lead. Indy Kirchenbauer gets the win, second win this season at Texas Motor Speedway.
Wagner able to hold, Murphy able to hold off Wagner. What a battle they had for second. Brashear with a very, very strong 4th place.
The undercut won the day here in Texas. He drew first, shot true, and found clean air. Kirchenbauer, the Prodigy, finds his way to victory lane. Murphy, who dominated the day, still comes home with second place and will probably retain his points lead as he led the most laps and started on the pole. But here comes the boss man to congratulate the Prodigy right at the start-finish line.
Here you go. Kirchenbauer with normally Texas and the Indy cars, we see close wins, very close races, finishes, photo finishes. Not today. 1.1 is the interval between first and second, and they were closing there at the end. They did bring it down from 2 seconds when they got going. And when I say they, I mean Mark and Wag and Caleb. They were closing, and if it went maybe another 10 or 15 laps, maybe they would have been there. But no photo finish today, and fellas, 1.1 seconds might as well be 1.1 miles here in IndyCar racing. That is a huge lead. Kirchenbauer gets the win. Murphy in second. In second. Matty Wags in third. Caleb Brashear in 4th. Craig Forsyth. Where'd he come from, boys? Very quietly. This is a very Craig Forsyth race. Up 6 spots. He's not your biggest gainer. We'll talk about that here in a second, and we'll let you guys crown who you think the Luis Gonzalez Nunez driver of the race should be. But then we look at 6, and here's a guy that deserves some shout-outs. At one point, he was sideways with the left front out of a skew, backing into the wall, having to execute a fast repair. And Gary Miguel comes home in 6th spot. Yari Brubaker tried to run long, had to make a late pit stop. He comes home in 7th. Gary Lovern with another top 10. He comes in on 8th. The progenitor in 9th, Clay Kirchenbauer, and primetime John Stellard. There it is, guys. Another primetime effort for primetime John Stellard. A top 10 out of nowhere, and he's finished his race better, up 5 spots. Gary Lovern finished this race up 10. Yari Brubacher up 9. So we'll let you decide your drivers of the race here in a second when we get to the next page. We got Fortson, Highsung, Gallas, the Turbine, Kenny Smith, 14th. Shane Coker, 15th. Joe Moe in 16th. Lilac Zier, 17th. Eric Peterson in 18th. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, 19th. Casey Povolowicz in 20th. And then we got Stouffer, not a race he wants to remember. And Mateus Marcamini coming home in 22nd.
I'm going to go unconventional, Gary. LGN's not here tonight. I'm going to award the biggest mover of the race to Jeremy Miguel. He didn't start in the back, but he basically did. He got put there on the first yellow, and he fought tooth and nail through the whole field to come home 6th, basically starting last after 20 to 25 laps have passed. So that's super last in my book.
I'm going to agree with you on that one, Clindy. Jeremy Miguel had a fantastic comeback race. I mean, obviously, if we were able to give it to anyone in the whole field, Indy Kirchenbauer had the drive today, no question asked. However, Guillermo Miguel, when he had that incident, he was able to get really lucky, get 2 cautions, come right back, get both of his laps back, came all the way back up to a 6th place finish. Great race for Guillermo Miguel.
All right, and you guys almost bought me all the time I needed to get these replays. You guys almost
Only good.
Yeah.
Close is only worth it in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. You know it. But let's go ahead and cue out the music and see who would like to talk to us. And also, I want to make sure that I'm refresh the points page, and it has been refreshed. So their points have been updated. Now, wow. Okay. Points lead is closer. It's still Mark Murphy with the points lead. Now 9 points over Indy Kirchenbauer. And the fortunate news for Wags is I think he came in 14 or 15 behind anyways, and he's leaving here 14 or 15 behind. So he didn't lose anything. Eric Peterson did lose some. He was, I think, 17 behind, and he's now 27 behind the next one. So it's all I see is points behind. So Kirchenbauer 9 behind Murph, and then 15 points behind is Matt Wagner behind Kirchenbauer. That's how it is. It's 213 to 204 to 189. Those are the top 3. So let's get into the interview room. And I don't see.
I can grab Wagner.
Bring in Wags. Yeah, go ahead. Bring him in. There he is. Matty Wags finishes 3rd today. Man, if you guys had a little bit more time there at the end, I think with those fresher tires, you might be able to run down Indy. But not a lot of cooperation up front and a lot of lap traffic kind of getting in your way. But the news for you is I guess it didn't make things necessarily any worse in the points race. You're still kind of 15 back from the lead, so to speak. So we still got time, but 3rd place today, and it just ran out of time, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it pretty much ran out of time, and the lap traffic didn't really help in my favor. The part where it really hurt the most was me. I had a huge run coming off of turn number 2, and Casey left me enough room. Actually, not enough room. He knew I was coming. He saw I could see it, but not enough room was given at the top. I mean, it was just if I hadn't gotten the wall there, I would have the run going right past, and I pretty much would have had clean air trying to catch Indy and much fresher tires, and that all overall was hurt so much. So it was a lot of fun trying to race Murph on pit road there. That was really a blast.
That was it. We called it out. That was pretty exciting to see. Clint, you got any questions?
Yeah. Why'd you let Murphy pass you after you beat him off of pit road? What happened?
Well, yeah, it was a plan trying to come together. For the first 5 to 6 laps, you're able to swap off into going into turn number 1, and it's off of 3 to 4. And after that, your tires are just, after that, they're just like trash, and it was really hard to turn after about lap 25. I was trying to work the high line while Murph was running the bottom, and it didn't really work out in my favor. So I had a lot of fun. The setup was a little bit tough. Other than that, I don't have really much to say.
Yeah, this was the first time that you guys have run this car at the New Texas. So the 3 previous races you all ran at Legacy. Of course, you won the last time we were here back in 2021. So you got 2 podiums in a row here at Texas. Luca, you got any questions for Matty before we head off to shoutouts?
My only question, kind of piggybacking off of Clendy, how did you get by Mark Murphy on pit road? I mean, that was a very impressive send there.
Full send. Send it.
Fair enough.
You have to. That's the only way you're going to pass. You're going to have to try something. He was braking a little bit earlier just to be a little bit more cautious, and you have to take risks to win races. And I took that risk, and it stuck. So I was almost afraid I got speeding. I was looking up and see, all right, where's the black flag? And I'm looking there, and it's like, where is it? I'm like, wow, I stuck it in there pretty good. So I was telling Murph and Chaz, hey, where's your box? Did you get pole? He's like, yep, okay, I'll go in the box early so we don't make contact. So, what a fun race. It was good. Good to have fun with Caleb and Murph and in the old chat there. That was quite been entertaining. I'm sure he had fun messing with you on the broadcast. We had a little bit of during the caution flags. I'm sure you saw that and paid no attention, Gary.
It's Murph. I don't. Anyway,
I
shout
know,
outs, friends, family,
he
sponsors.
goaded me into it. So shout out to you guys. Luca, I don't think I ever talked to you in the broadcast. Welcome you in here. Glendy, good
Appreciate
seeing you. Gary, as usual, I'll be seeing you at the expo again, so I'll be there. Shout out to my parents watching. I know they never really talk in the chat, so shout out to guys at Dark Horse who put on this great league. It's the longest running DW12 in my eyes. I love running it. I support Peterson every way. Other than that, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go have a beer. So y'all take care.
All right,
Water.
and we will see you. Well, I'll see you next
you,
Thursday night at the 500. So best of luck there.
Oh man,
Good to
boy,
see
I
you,
have a
Wag.
story to tell you, but we'll see you guys.
All right. We'll move him down into general. Let him go to wherever he wants to go next. Someone want to grab Murph and bring him on in here. And here is Mark Murphy finishing second today, but dominating the first half of this race and just a victim of the undercut there at the end. Maybe some more time. We could have run him down, but it's only 150 laps here for 225 miles. But still leaving here as the points leader.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Had a little bit of a situation with drivers that were not a factor, becoming a factor, and inserting themselves into a battle that they shouldn't have been. But it's okay. I feel bad for Wags. He probably should have run second. Full marks to him. That was a heck of an entrance on a pit road. I thought I left it pretty late, and I looked up, and there he was locked up beside me. I thought, God, not Michigan all over again, right? But we made it, and then it was a matter of got off pit road, had a huge draft on the back, and he really couldn't defend it. And we were running Indy down there. I thought his tires were dead, but then there was pretty concerted effort to insert cars between he and I, and that's fair. And lead the most laps and run second, and those gambles paid. And congratulations to Indy, he made it work. But a lot of times you do that, and it comes up snake eyes. So full marks to him, and we'll come back next race at Pocono.
Go ahead, Clinty.
Yeah, may not be Vegas, so snake eyes may not have bit you so bad today, but how much sweat did you wipe off your brow under that first green flag stop when you saw those yellow flags come out right after you crossed the commitment line?
I about had a heart attack, man. That was I said no, and then I realized Caleb and I were gonna be leading the thing, but that's twice now. It happened to Gateway too, I think, where we had the thing happen and got out with the lead in a free pit stop. I was like, God, no, because you guys know this. If that happens, 5-10 seconds later, you're a lap down. So, but yeah,
pour a little bit of that luck into my cup. I got bit by it at Richmond in Area 51 earlier.
I know it's man, that was awful tough to see that, and it's a shame it hurt Stouffer too. And I don't know what happened, but I saw Chris got cleaned out, and he and I have a lot of history here, and I was looking forward to racing hard with him. But I mean, it was fun, David. Yeah, I bet my heart rate jumped 35 notches when I saw the yellow come out, for sure.
Go
Luke, you got
ahead,
any questions for
Luca.
Murph?
I actually do. So I was listening in on the radio, and you and Caleb Bashir were having a little bit of a shouting match. Just kind of take me through what happened there, what that incident looked like from your perspective. Just want to hear kind of what occurred
You
while
talking
you were
about
battling.
132, or I don't
Uh,
recall
the
having a
main
shouting match.
incident of when you and you and Wags were fighting, and
Oh
Bashir.
yeah. No, I mean it's just unfortunate over there. You got I understand, teammates and whatever, but I had an incredible run down the inside, and team car throws the block down on the bottom, and I had brand new tires, so I started to move to the second groove, and he ran up the hill to block me, and Wags just, I mean, he had such a head of steam because he had chosen correctly, and so he just, I mean, he was going 15 mile an hour faster than we were, and you know, so I moved a groove higher and got blocked, and that just kind of ran Wags out of real estate, and I saw him crunch the wall, and I get it, teammates and things like that, but thing of it is, I mean, I it gets really frustrating when you got a guy 2 laps, 3 laps down, whatever, and he's doing that. You always want to see a clean fight to the end, and then I didn't really think his comments afterward were warranted either. So we'll have a discussion about that and move on down the road. But just excited to have finished second, and no drama from me, and we keep on going, man. Keep on trucking. It's what, 3 more races, 2 more races, 3 more, 2 more, 3 more,
More
something like
after
that.
this. Yep, 3 more.
Yeah, three
Pocono,
more.
Homestead, and Indy. Just a good transition. Shout-outs.
Yeah, so shout out to everyone at P1 Broadcasting. Gary, you do a hell of a job as always. Hopefully Brashear and Wags and I irritated you enough under caution that we got our money's worth out of that. Um, excuse me. Thanks to everybody at Black Magic Studios, Admin Box, P1 Broadcasting again, 40 Racewear, Area 51. Of course, am I leaving anybody out? Gary, you know my sponsors better than I do. Um,
We're looking at your car,
yeah,
so they're all on there.
yeah. So um, appreciate everybody, and thank you so much, and thank the wife for putting up with this crazy hobby.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you down the road, boys. Keep going fast and having fun.
All right, second today, still the points leader. See, your points lead over Indy now is 9 points, 3 races to go. Looking at an exciting finish down the stretch as we head to Pocono in a couple of weeks. Until then, best of luck, and we'll see you when we get to the Tricky Triangle.
Absolutely, man. Slingshot fuel saving fest, baby. I'm here for it.
That is Mark Murphy, as he is now in the replay now part of the pace truck. Anyways, let's go back to Indy Kirkenbauer and bring in Indy Kirkenbauer, the prodigy. Congratulations, Indy, and I guess the move of the race, the call of the race, was the undercut there on the last stop. That was what got you the big lead. When did you make the decision to do the undercut? When did you know it was going to work? And just take us from there on the rest of your race, getting the win, knowing that those tires were holding off, but you kind of had time in your favor.
Yeah, I I just knew how much faster the new tires were, and it was just with you couldn't go full throttle,
Sorry.
which is a good thing,
Yep.
but it just made it so it felt like you hit the dirty air line before you hit the draft line, so would get stuck between 7 to 9 tenths between someone, and there's nowhere to go. So I knew if I get in front of them, it's going to be incredibly hard to pass. So I just made the call to short pit, which was risky if a yellow got me, but I was able to come out 3.5, and luckily they weren't able to get there in time.
Go, Clinty.
Andy, any chance you were listening to the broadcast and heard me talking about how good the undercut would be and that you'd come out, 2 to 3 seconds ahead of those guys with only 20 or 25 laps to go. Was I somehow your crew chief? Was I your strategist for tonight and I didn't know it?
No, I never listened to the broadcast.
Good,
It
good,
messes
good
me up.
idea.
Wow.
I watch them back after. I don't listen to them while I'm driving though.
Look, you got to stay locked in, right? You can't
Oh
let
my
your
God.
focus go away.
Well, when you're hearing the people in VC and the broadcast, that's too many.
Yeah, one too
But
many voices.
um, when I just knew I got lucky with the first caution when they all wrecked coming into pits, and uh, I I was going to be able to make it one more lap after that until I had to pit. So, or one more lap, I think. I don't really remember, but yeah, it was definitely interesting to try and pass, and I know I made a move on Lilac early in the run, so yeah, I definitely got lucky pitting on lap 8 because a lot of people got trapped a lap down, and yeah, I think it was a fun race, especially at the end, and we'll be here next time where we're at.
Pocono.
Pocono. Yep. Luca,
Yeah, I'll
any follow up questions here for the winner?
I got nothing. Just a great race from you. Really gutsy call. I had a blast watching it, and keep going fast, man.
All right, Luca.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you.
all right, Indy. We'll give you a chance for shout outs here. I mean, this is a good start to the week. This is a big week for you. Going to end the week in the Elite Racing League, 16th running in the Lucas Oil School of Racing, Indianapolis 500. But it's a great start to the week here. And much the same way that Chris Albrecht kind of did last season. He won here, parlayed that into a pole at the Elite Racing League's Indy 500. Now you're going to win here. Qualifying's already done. Maybe you could parlay that into a win. Now you're coming from deep in the field in the Elite Racing League. You're in the last row. But, this starts the week off with some really good momentum. And not to mention we got the top split races coming up as well that I'm sure that you're going to get geared up for. So I'm sure you're feeling pretty excited now getting the week off started right. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go.
Yeah, I hope that can be the case. I didn't know that Chris also won a dark horse race before the pole, so I got no excuses now. But I'll shout out all my go-kart sponsors. BGM Marine Associates, Make Something on YouTube, Bayside Heating and Cooling. I also thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thank you for all my teammates showing up tonight. We had 7 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And just thank you to everybody watching the stream, and Eric for putting on the league. And I will be here for both Tuesday night races. And then, of course, the Elite 500.
All right, we will see you then. Best of luck on the rest of the week. But starting it off on the right foot, win here. Win number 2 this season, career win number 2. Closes the gap to the points lead by now 9 points. Was tied for second in the points coming in. Now in second all by himself with 3 races left to go. Pocono's next up on the schedule. We'll see you at the next one here in Dark Horse. Congrats. Until then, best of luck this week.
Yep, thank you.
That is Indy Kirkenbauer. Gents, final thoughts. Clindy, final thoughts here. Looking forward to Pocono, and then we'll toss it to Luca for final thoughts, and also looking for a preview for Pocono. Go ahead, Glindy.
I may have claimed that I'm not omniscient earlier, but I do have the power of clairvoyance. I can tell when pit strategy is going to matter, when clean air is king, and Indy Kirchenbauer sussed that out and smelled it out himself, and he loaded up his 6-shooter and he fired all 6 out, fanned the hammer, and found his way to victory lane. Really glad that he was able to finesse his way out of that 4th place when he had no other options, And to be able to fight from that big of a deficit over somebody who had a stranglehold over this race in Mark Murphy, and Murph is just so good at this place generally, to be able to beat him with whatever tools are in your toolbox shows just how versatile that kid is. Luca, what are your thoughts?
Kid's a superstar. The kid is just, I mean, he has such great knowledge of racing in all facets, not just driving the car, but also clearly, as proven tonight, pit strategy. He made a gutsy call, worked out for him. I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if we'd be saying this if a caution comes out and he gets trapped, but he did everything right. Everything fell his way. Big. I mean, we were talking earlier about Wags and Murph. I mean, I would have loved to have seen a closer battle between those three, but I still think that out of those three, I'm taking Indy Kirchenbauer right now. The kid is on fire right now, and it was a ton of fun watching this, and I'm excited to see where this series goes when we head off to Pocono in 2 weeks.
Very good. Well, that's going to wrap us up for tonight, and we're looking forward. We'll put the schedule on the screen for you one more time. There you see, we already have everything on the channel. Just all you have to do is set the reminder. But Pocono is next. That is a 300-miler. It's one of two 300-milers that we have this season. Pocono, and we'll wrap up at Indianapolis. And in the middle, it will be Homestead. So those are the three races left. And these cars race fantastic at all three of those racetracks. So they should be very, very interesting races, and you won't want to miss them. Let's get on out of here, give everyone back their Sunday nights, start the week. A big week here in the IndyCar community, which is going to all lead up to the Elite Racing League's Indy 500. That is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time this Thursday night over the Elite Racing Network. Myself and Luis Gonzalez Nunez will be calling the action there for the 16th running. Clindy, you'll be there. Best of luck. Indy Kirchenbauer will be there. He's starting last, or actually he's starting on the last row. He's in the survived that last row shootout. And I think he's starting 32nd. And then Matty Wags, who finished third tonight, will be starting fourth for the 500. So those are some of the names that we've talked about tonight, and that they will be in the lineup. Make sure to check us out then. Get on out of here. All right. I appreciate you guys showing up, man. And it's, the catalyst, isn't always lit and ready to go at all times. And so we every now and then we need to call in the righty or the lefty from the bullpen to cover for the for Andrew Wood. So appreciate you guys doing that. That's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here for Texas for the fourth running of Dark Horse Texas 225. Indy Kirchenbauer, second career win, gets the win tonight. Mark Murphy hanging on to the points lead with 3 races to go, finishes second. Matty Wags comes home in third. Join Andrew and myself again May 3rd when the Dark Horse Racing Series DW12 cars return, presented by 4D Racewear. They head to Pocono Raceway for one of our longest races of the season for the 8th time in series history, the Dark Horse Pocono 300. Coverage starts here at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it's an all-new season, so for the correct broadcast time in your area, find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm is not an easy one, so please help support the weekly grind. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race. And yes, the production was bad. That's all on me. But the commentary was great. That's all on those guys. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you hit the bell for weekly reminders to miss it on more of other P1, what we cover here on P1, other iRacing programming, including our Tuesday night open wheel doubleheader, which we talked about. Started at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time with the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series Top Split, followed by the iRacing Indy Next Oval Series Top Split at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like open wheel oval racing, and it's a good chance you do if you're watching this tonight, then don't miss the action this Tuesday night here on P1. Tonight's fourth running of the Dark Horse Texas 225 and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented to you by the fine folks at 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. And also now race awards and custom rings for your own leagues. You want to give a winner of your big race a ring? Well, this is how you do it. You visit them today at 4dracewear.com to learn more. Click on the link in the stream description. Track cams of this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, you can like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. All of our social links are on Linktree, and you can check those out in the description. So, for Luca Tedesco, Clindy, Kyle Glidworth, everyone here at Dark Horse and 4D Racewear. I'm Gary Gotzo saying all. Thanks for watching, everybody. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, especially those in the seas and the skies right now in the Middle East, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here May 3rd in Pocono for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear right here on P1. Good night, everybody.